There was this girl named Lila. Now, Lila was First Nation. She grew up on a reserve in Canada. And she said she remembered when she was young that her mom and her uncle were talking about these disappearances that had happened in the family. And she said it terrified her mom so much that in the middle of the night, she took her brothers and sisters and they left the reserve and they moved in with their uncle. Now, for a couple of years, she grew up in Ontario at her uncle's house. And she said that her uncle had this, good piece of land and he had several farm animals and he had this big red wooden shed. And she said often her brothers and sisters they would play in the backyard near or around this shed. This particular day they were playing hide and go seek and she was it. Her brothers and sisters go hide and she starts counting, one, two, when all of a sudden she hears boom, boom coming from the shed. And then again, boom, boom, this knocking sound is coming from the shed. And she's like, what is that sound? And then again, boom, boom. And she can't figure out like is something in the shed. She was like kind of scared. The next couple of weeks, right, as she's playing in the backyard, she keeps hearing this knocking sound coming from the shed. One day she decides she's going to see what is making that sound. So she goes over to the shed, she opens the door, and out of the corner of her eye, she sees standing in the corner something kind of crouched down. Whatever it is, it stands up. And she said it was about the size of a 6 or 7 year old. But when it turned around, it had the face of a very old man. And it was wearing this weird pointed hat and had these weird looking eyes. And she said, this thing walks up to her and says, well, hello, darling, how are you? And starts talking to her in this really creepy voice. And he says, my eyes aren't that great. Can you come inside the shed so I can see you, my darling? And she said, I'm not allowed to talk to strangers. And like, my mom wouldn't like that. And he says, no, it's okay. Like, come in the shed. And she says, no, I can't do that. Why don't you come out here and I can see you? And he goes, no. I can't come out of the shed. Like, I'm not allowed to. And she's like, what do you mean you're not allowed to? And he goes, just come in the shed. And she like didn't want to. She was like resisting. And he started to get aggressive and like angry. But she said it was like he couldn't come out of the shed. So she took off running. And at the time, she didn't think that her mom or anyone would believe her. So she didn't tell anyone about it. A couple more times, she'd be around the shed and she would like hear this guy talking inside of the shed. But her brothers and sisters, they never heard it. They never seen anything. And she said one day she was by the shed and the door was open. And she sees like this, old looking tiny little hand reaching out of the door, moving its fingers. And she hears